Hello and welcome back to Bookish. Today I thought I would do what I've seen some other booktubers do and take advantage of my ride home to make a real quick video. This is kind of an update video. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those vloggers, or as Sean says, vloggers. But I thought this would be a good chance for me to talk to you about where I am in my reading for March of the Mammoth. So I'm participating in March of the Mammoths, which is a read-along hosted by Lukash at Totally Pretentious and Alex at Big Owl Books, and by Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse. And you're supposed to read a book that's 800 pages or longer in the month of March, and the book I've chosen to read is the first volume of Proust, which contains I believe Swan's Way and In a Budding Grove are the two books, are the two parts of remembrance of things past that I'm reading. So I'm about on page 300 right now, or I should be at the end of the day. I've been keeping a pretty regular schedule of reading 30 pages a day. It's been going pretty well. Sorry, my camera fell. So I finished the first part of Swan's Way, which is called Cambrai, which is the name of the little village in France where Proust spent a lot of his childhood at the home of, I believe, maternal aunt who was quite wealthy. And he was kind of a spoiled kid, and from the text you get the impression that he had a really serious attachment to his mother. But you also learn a lot of stuff about his family, about the village, and you know, a lot of times when you're reading, or when I was reading this section, and when I'm reading Proust in general, I just get overwhelmed by the detail, and I lose the thread of, you know, exactly who and what we're talking about, and that makes reading it difficult. But for all the difficulty in reading it, it has been really rewarding at the same time, because really you've gained an appreciation for Proust's ability to kind of craft a story literally out of his memory. And even though I'm sure this isn't true, it's almost as though it's his memory as it's coming to him while he's writing. Now, that can't possibly be true, because one of the most impressive things about, I think, what I've read so far is how you get all this detail and you get all this discussion of people and events and places, and my God, the hawthorn flowers and things like that. And you're just at some point going, my goodness, there's no thread, there's no plot, there's no point. This is just meandering. You know, it's brilliant meandering, it's artistic meandering, it's beautiful meandering, but there's no point. And then all of a sudden you get to like the last, I don't know, 20 or 30 pages of that Cambrai section, which is about, I think, 210 pages long. And all of a sudden you realize he's told you how he became who he is, and how he became the writer that he is, and how he evolved, the attitudes that he has, and he has characterized himself in detail. And my goodness, the things you've learned and picked up about the place where he lives, about Cambrai itself, about the people he associated with, about members of his family and their prejudices and foibles, and it's just really amazing. And at the end, what I ended up with at the end of the Cambrai section is, you know, there was a story about how he grew up and how he became a writer and who influenced him, and the characters are the members of his family and the place where all this happened. And it's just almost as though, and I think I say this far too often, it's almost as though there's just been kind of a magic trick done, where all of a sudden he just pulls a thread and all of it comes together at the end of that section. The second section is called Swan in Love, and it relates to one of the characters, one of the friends of the family that he meets and gets to know in that first section as a child, and his love affair with a woman that he apparently doesn't even really like, and who may not even like him. I think in this section I'm only about 70 pages in. Yeah, I'm only about 70 or 80 pages in, so I don't know how that's going to all work itself out. I think there are another almost 200 pages of the Swan in Love section. And again, it's like the Cambrai section. It's dense in detail and people and characterization, but now you start to feel like that you start to have faith in, I've started to have faith in Proust, that there's a point, that there's a plot. As a matter of fact, this section is much more of a story. And it's not about Proust himself, it's about someone that Proust knows and someone Proust identifies with. And so I'm waiting to see how this gets back to Proust as well. You know, if you're calling if the book is, or the series of books is called Remembrance of Things Past or In Search of Lost Time, then at some point you think it has to be the author's memory, and this can't be from the author's memory. This is clearly a story that he's heard or made up. But anyway, it's really rewarding. It is a dense read. 30 pages a day is about all I've been able to kind of get through on a daily basis. After 30 pages, you know, my head's full and I'm pretty tired of trying to follow all the threads and everything. And that's also then blocked out pretty much all other reading for me so far this week. I'm hoping this weekend that maybe I can knock out a couple of 60-page days. That'll buy me 2 days in which I can do some of the reading of the short stories that I want to do as part of the Irish read-along, and get to that as well. But that's where I am in March of the Mammoths and week 1 of reading Proust. I'm on schedule, going to be finished with page 300 a day, which puts me about a third or a little less than a third of the way through the book, with you know, more than 3 weeks left to go. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read Proust, if you agree with my assessment or anything like that in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.